That was an invigorating start to the forum. I'm going to propose that college meetings start like that. I feel really good. Thank you, Carleen, and thank you, Shada. And I am really pleased to be with you for the reveal of this year's results of the EIGE index, especially since much depends on what we do next with these results. Europe is going through geopolitical turmoil and multiple crises, which put a strain on gender equality achievements as they put to the test the conditions that we have created to move forward. We must turn this challenge into an opportunity once again for women's rights and gender equality, in particular, women's economic and financial independence. EIGE's campaign, 3 Steps Forward, is timely, and here are my 3 steps forward. Pay transparency. The first step forward is recognizing and valuing women's contribution to the economy and to society at large. The Commission is committed to meet this objective, and this is why we proposed legislation on equal pay for equal work or work of equal value between women and men. The binding pay transparency rules aim at addressing unjustified discrepancies in pay on grounds of sex. We want to put an end to the era of non-compliance and introduce pay transparency with enforcement mechanisms to ensure that employees can effectively tackle pay discrimination. Pay transparency measures will encourage companies to review their pay settings and allow them to address hidden pay discrimination that may reflect unconscious sexist biases. Companies that apply fair and equal pay are more attractive for workers, regardless of their gender. Talks between the Council and the European Parliament are ongoing now, and we hope for a swift adoption of this law. Violence against women, that's the second step forward, which is guaranteeing women's safety. We must ensure that all women and girls across the EU are free from violence. This is why, on the one hand, I reiterate the importance of women's economical and financial independence, and on the other, the adoption of legislation to tackle gender-based violence. The Commission's proposal for a directive to combat violence against women and domestic violence focuses on the criminalization of certain forms of gender-based violence, including cyber violence. Furthermore, it introduces concrete measures to prevent violence and strengthen the support for, protection and access to justice of victims of domestic violence and violence against women. Reliable data is necessary to make effective policies and provide adequate support, and EIGE has done extensive work in developing indicators. So I encourage member states to collaborate with EIGE and develop harmonized indicators across the EU jointly. And the third step forward is about gender balance across the board. So it regards women's equal representation. Numbers matter. Women continue to be outnumbered by men in the decision-making bodies of companies throughout the EU, despite their capabilities and educational attainment. They continue to struggle against long-held and systemic entry barriers into corporate boards and leadership positions. In order to ensure more transparency in the selection of board directors, the Commission proposed the Women on Boards Directive. It took us 10 years of negotiations in Council, but this proposal will become EU law soon. It will set an important milestone towards effective gender equality at the highest decision-making level. The directive will play a major role in shaping corporate rules on the selection of board members based on merit and qualification and address biases during selection of board members. We are sending a clear message that the European economy must make the best use of all of its talents. For women to work and be active on the labor market, to be financially independent and politically active, we need to put in place structures that allows us to organize our lives in a balanced way. Today, 7.7 million women are out of employment because of care responsibilities and a lack of support structures. And we've been saying this for decades. We have learned from the COVID-19 crisis how crucial women still are in providing informal care and how central women are to the care sector. Through its care strategy, the Commission addresses the imbalance of the labor market and of the care sector, where women represent 90% of the workers. To continue stepping forward for gender equality, EIGE's work remains indispensable. Gathering, monitoring, and analyzing data allows us to design gender-responsive policies, even in times of crisis. I would say especially in times of crisis. So I look forward to the results of the Gender Equality Index, and I wish you all fruitful exchanges. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Commissioner Helena Dalli, for your 3 steps: equal pay, women's safety, and gender balance. Equal representation is what you said. Thank you very much indeed.